Right, good morning everybody. I think I have met all of you before at some stage, so very good to see you again today. For anyone that doesn't know me, I don't think it's the case, but I'm Emma Airey. I've been with RH since 2011. So this is now my 13th straight 14th year, and I feel very privileged and honoured to represent the RH brand. So without further ado, we will jump into today's presentation.
Not on the presentation.
Oh.
Yeah.
Stephen, I need your
assistance.
over there. Fantastic, thank you. So again, as you're probably aware, RH has worked very closely with your club since 1977. So we're sort of almost a 50-year relationship. And in that time, we've saved lots of members a great deal of money, simply through the RH scheme. On average, our clients receive 10% discount on our standard RH insurance rates. And sometimes that can be worth as much, if not more, than the cost of annual membership. So, this is something that we're very, pleased to continue to offer, is your 10% discount. So the team, we actually have now a proper, dedicated in-house team working on an advised basis. This has been for the past 15 months that we decided to bring the day-to-day operation in-house. This means when you're talking to us, we can actually give you advice. And my belief is that we're the only broker in the UK as part of Howden Insurance Group that actually operates on an advised as opposed to non-advised basis. It means more training, so people who are new, they go through a very rigorous 6-7 week training programme before we let them loose on our clients. And we can see here of Lydia. Lydia came to visit us a few weeks ago, which was very good day, lots of fun. And with Lydia, we have Pete. Pete Barrett is our general manager. Alex is one of our senior team leaders. Aidan, another team leader. Jack, team leader. Aaron Overton. If anyone ever, hope not, ever has a claim, Aaron is our in-house claims expert. He will handhold you every step of the way. Now, this is something I used to do with clients, but now we've got Aaron, in-house Aaron, he's actually helping me. So Aaron has made my life a lot easier, and he's great. So if you know anyone who's with RH that's going through a claim or about to, if you mention Aaron's name and me, the two of us will handhold literally every step of the way, and we'll act as that go-between between RH team, yourselves, and ERS, the insurer. So ERS, our insurer, Equity Red Star, they've been in the industry even longer than RH, over 70 years, I think 75, Alan, so a long time. They are Lloyd's of London, Syndicate 218, and they are A-rated Lloyd's of London insurer. So if you do have a claim, you'll be in very good, safe hands. So between Aaron, I, and ERS, we will take very good care of you. This photo at the top was us having fun at the restoration show 2 years ago. Time flies, and this is Henry Jukes. We sponsor Henry, and he was aged 10 there, and last year he got an award from Princess Anne, no other. He was the FBHBC's Young Preservationist of the Year. So we're very proud to support Henry. And if you haven't met Henry yet, if you have access to Facebook, if you go onto Henry's Ruby, he has a dedicated page, and his videos, I predict he'll be next Top Gear presenter. He is fantastic, very confident, very smart young man. So, RH has finally made it onto Trustpilot 12 months ago. We always say very old-fashioned service, but with a modern twist with RH. So we do have some modern technology, obviously with our rating system and the systems we have to use to produce a quote and documents. But yeah, 12 months ago, we actually ventured into the world of Trustpilot. Our rating as of yesterday was 4.9. We have 252 reviews so far, and I'm told 4.9 is really excellent. To me, 5 is what we're aspiring to. I'm not really happy with 4.9, but apparently it is quite a good statistic on that particular platform. So for anyone here who's not yet an RH client, and I think most of you thankfully are, in order to join us, to join the RH club, you need 1 or more specialist vehicles. And if you're a member of our REC, there's a very good chance you're going to have 1 or more, or plenty more, specialist vehicles. We can then look to insure your everyday car as well. Now, because we're part of Howden Group, Howden Insurance, even if we can't compete under the RH scheme, sometimes we can. We're about 30 to 40% of the time we are competitive, but the 50-60% time or more that we're not, we can actually refer, with your permission, into Howden Group. Now that means we have access to not just the RS, the RH's scheme insurer, a panel of insurers via Howden. So it's worth bearing in mind. Don't be shy. Let us know a few weeks ahead of the modern cars renewal date, and we will do our utmost to help you. If you're lucky enough that we're competitive under RH, you will then get, of course, your complimentary UK European breakdown recovery. That comes with every policy sold. And if you've already paid £21 legal with your specialist vehicles, you don't pay it again. You pay £21 a year. It's optional, but we do recommend it very strongly. Whether you've got 1, 10, 100 or 1,000 vehicles, you only pay legal once. So it's another good reason to bring modern car to us. But the best reason is you'll still be dealing with myself and the lovely Worcester team for the modern cars as well. Age, it's a moot point, this one. So in general terms, 25 plus for drivers. We like you to be relatively mature. So 25 plus with a nice clean driving history. We can, depending on the make, model and value of the vehicle, potentially accommodate from 18 plus on Austin 7s, okay? 21 plus on Stags, Bentleys and Rolls Royces, and 25 plus for other makes and models. Now we have started recently, age 21 plus, to try and accommodate drivers of Albuses, providing they are warranted accompanied. Warranted accompanied means mum or dad policyholder sitting next to the youngster while they're driving. And as long as the younger driver, we can get those terms accepted and they serve normally 1 to 2 years as a minimum, then we can look to let them go solo. But ERS is still sticklers for this 25. That's the magic tipping point. But we do have, and I know Sam doesn't mind me mentioning his name, we have Sam Levon, yes, Sam. And Sam, for his 21st birthday, because Sam phoned me when he was 20, we got him on cover, warranted accompanied on Dad's Shadow. A few days before he was 21, Sam phoned me and said, Emma, he said, I'm going to be 21 at the weekend. I want to take Dad's Shadow to Suffolk, I think it is Suffolk or Essex meet. We spoke to underwriting at ERS and we said, look, we've got Sam here, he's served a good 12 months, nearly, by a few days. Can we please let him go solo on Sunday? And they said yes. And Sam's been, as we know, solo ever since.
For ages.
Yeah, and a very, very active member of our REC. In fact, I think, does he head up your youth section?
Yeah.
So, it's cases like that where, the youngster has grown up with the vehicles in the family, where they're sensible, perhaps, mature beyond their years would suggest. We can look to do something for them. And this is what's really important. Everything's assessed on its own merits. We don't just operate a computer says no policy. We will look very closely and tailor bespoke cover. So, as I said before, even if you don't qualify for the RH scheme, even if the specialist vehicle, for whatever reason, doesn't fit, it could be your Phantom is your only car. Be nice. Be very nice. But it could be, you could have a modern Rolls-Royce or Bentley and not access to another specialist or older vehicle. If that's the case, we'll probably refer you down to High Wycombe, which is our high net worth team. Or if it's, let's say, a £20,000 Enage is your only vehicle, we can refer you within the wider group, within branch, normally Worcester, or our sister division, which is Cherished Vehicle Insurance Services. Same building, different team, different products, but again, access to more insurers. So anything that comes in, theoretically, we will triage and find the best solution for the client. Do we have any questions so far?
Yes.
Yes.
No, it was from everyday driver,
Yes.
that old Mercedes estate. It's
Uh-huh.
insured for £4,500,
Yes.
and it's actually with Howdens. And my renewal has come up also just within about a week or
Oh
so
gosh, right.
of my classic car insurance.
Yes.
So, and I noticed the reference number when I paid,
Uh-huh.
the premium was actually the same as the RH reference number.
Right. Yes.
So
Yes.
for-
You're right, because when I did my fact find for you,
Yes.
I discovered you had an existing Howden record.
Yes.
So we're using the same client reference. So your documents on our system are all in the same place,
Yes. So
but separate policy.
if I were to renew next year, should it all go onto one policy or keep it separate?
So it depends.
Because that's not a collector's car, it's just an everyday driver.
Yeah.
Rather keep it separate.
If RH was able to return a competitive rate, possibly, but Howden Group, but yes, you're right, Mercedes is with Howden Group, parent company, which would be different insurer, different fee structure, different policy benefits.
Right.
You will be paying separately for breakdown recovery, separately for legal if you've got legal, but different insurer, different product. Whereas RH is only Equity Red Star, ERS. No admin fees currently. I think we will, sadly, at some point need to start charging admin, but not yet. We haven't in nearly 50 years.
Yes.
The rest of Howden does. So at the moment, RH, no admin, complimentary breakdown, and £21 for legal covers everything.
Right.
But it is a separate scheme.
So rather insure that separately, then keep it simpler.
I would say so,
Yes.
unless we really feel at that time that RH can return a very competitive rate on the modern. But I would suspect, I could be wrong, without looking at it very closely, that Howden, because it has access to a wider range of insurers for you, and their core appetite is modern,
Yes.
as opposed to niche, specialist, theoretically you should find a more attractive rate by Howden. 30 to 40% of the time, we will have a more attractive rate with RH on modern for you. So it's worth looking at if you wanted to bundle everything together under RH, but
I don't want it to be clumsy. Rather just
it's
it's
fine.
really
I mean,
simple just to pay it
ultimately,
separately.
everything's within Howden Group. Either way, you'll be taken, very good care of by myself or the wider Howden Group. We could ask Howden, whichever your branch is, if you wanted to have it moved to Worcester, because we work very closely with Worcester, it's only a few miles up the road. We could perhaps do a branch transfer. But then again, if you've got a branch local to where you live, you might pop in and see them, and that sort of continuity of face-to-face contact. We wouldn't want to take that away.
Thanks.
I hope that makes
Yeah,
sense.
I think I'd rather just keep that one
Keep
separate.
that one, yeah, okay.
Thank you.
Stephen,
I always know it was, for years it's been Equity Red Star behind it. 'cause
ERS,
I
yes.
track what
Yeah.
I'm spending on, so it's ERS, yeah,
Yes.
it's down there. But then, what was Howden? When did that come in?
Okay, so Equity Red Star, ERS that we know and love, since 1991, they have been the insurer on the RH scheme. There is no change. So the insurer, ERS, is exactly the same. And it used to be the ERS team working on a non-advised basis out of originally Brentwood and then Swansea that looked after our clients. Okay, so coming to the ownership in a moment of RH brand. So that's how ERS fit in. They are the insurer. And as insurer, they used to have their own in-house team, latterly based in Swansea, that would pick up the phone, hello RH, and deal with clients. A year ago in January, ERS ceased looking after our clients on a day-to-day basis. So the owner of the RH brand, the company that owns the brand and client base, which is Howden. It used to be Hiscox,
Yes.
before that Willis, before that Coyle Hamilton. I joined when Willis owned RH. So I've transferred from Willis to Hiscox to Howden. No matter, it's still RH and it's still Equity Red Star behind the scenes. Good news though, now that we are owned by Howden Group, which of course also owns A-Plan, which is rebranded to Howden. A-Plan. So all 106 A-Plan offices around the country are now branded as Howden. So the only thing that's changed for RH ultimately is the name above the door. Right above the top of the door is Howden. Beneath that is the RH brand. Beneath that is ERS, the insurer. And the in-house RH team is employed by Howden, not ERS.
But I think I saw, I was going to mention to you later, but I'll just bring it up now because it's pertinent to this.
Yes.
So I've just recently dropped my regular cars
Okay.
because they were just not competitive.
Was that within Howden Group?
Well, through I called up whoever RH.
RH, okay.
They put up the policy.
Indeed, and that's where we've got the ERS rate.
Yeah,
ERS rate.
and I moved them there. It seemed like a couple of years ago someone said, oh, you can move with us because we get the free roadside assistance,
That's
which
right.
was really good.
It's
And I was
great.
spending a lot on that. So that was great. I could get my whole fleet under that.
Yes.
And then we both changed cars. My wife and I both changed cars. I had to get new quotes, new cars coming in, which is like, boom, way too high. And so, of course, I've had to go outside and elsewhere. And of course, then I've had to get the roadside.
It's a shame that perhaps you didn't realise that, because technically we're not allowed to say to clients if we're in danger of losing, we can't say, we're part of Howden, would you like us to put you through? If the client says to us, I understand you're part of Howden, can you please? You could have asked, and then of course we would have put you in touch with Worcester.
It wasn't, I mean, whoever I spoke to said, you're not going to like this. And it's like, no, I didn't like that at all. And I had to go outside, both others, and save a fortune there. So it's because, and I noticed the name change. I thought, okay, so the service changed as a result. I couldn't get all my cars under the same thing.
So the only thing that changed is the day-to-day operation, answering phones.
And I didn't know to ask that question, did I?
Well, exactly. I mean, this is one of the benefits of me coming out and presenting, around the country to our key club partners, is the Howden piece, because the power of Howden is immense. They're going to be sponsoring a major international sporting event next year, which I think has an oval-shaped ball. So they should become a household name, on all the shirts or whatever these chaps wear. So yeah, Howden is very, very much here, and I think we're now over that period where clients are saying to us, "Can I get a discount on my kitchen?" I think people now do understand. Perhaps since the A-Plan rebrand to Howden, it's now in the high street. It's not quite such a battle to make people understand what Howden is. I mean, it's immense, 15,500 employees around the world within Howden. They bought A-Plan, which happens to have owned already RH, which also owns Peter S. Taylor, cherished vehicle insurance services, and all styles. And also RH45, another sister division, headed up by Marcus Atkinson and Angus Forsyth, who are ex-Haggerty. Marcus and Angus sit in Bicester Heritage, and they typically deal with ultra high net worth individuals or very high value vehicles where we want a youngster to be able to drive them. So if ERS for whatever reason has said no on young driver and there's a really substantial collection, we have another route. We have RH45 potentially with Marcus and Angus sitting at Bicester Heritage, part of Howden again, who can help. So, I'd always say, just give us a call. So, I understand, if you can't help me under RH for whatever reason, I really want to go down Howden route. We will find a way. There's got to be a way within Howden. We don't just do motor, we do obviously home and contents, public liability, commercial insurance. Commercial is massive within Howden. So, yeah, lots and lots of options within group. So here's Henry again. Henry working on his Austin Ruby when he was 9. His John Deere overalls, but he had RH branded overalls. So our very basic kind of cover, also it's child's play really, it's so simple, is just our basic accidental damage, fire and theft. Now this is absolutely perfect for something that's not going to be turning a wheel for 12 months on the public highway. It can be pushed onto a trailer or started and onto a trailer on private land. It's covered whilst it's in transit. It's also covered whilst on display at events. The only time it would not be covered is if you're going to drive it on the road. So not possible for laid up, but with premiums starting at around £55.25 for a single vehicle, depending on the vehicle's age and value, it can be a very, very cost-effective way to keep your pride and joy covered if you're not using it. And a lot of people don't know that that kind of cover exists. They think, oh, I'll leave it uninsured or I'll wait for it to be road ready. And of course, the moral of the tale is don't wait, because there could be fire or burglar. Get it on cover. And for the very little that it costs, it's not worth the risk. Comprehensive road going cover, that's something we all need and buy year in, year out, but what we don't typically do is check the small print. So comprehensive cover, that's the only kind of road going cover RH will sell for these specialist vehicles. We don't mess around with third-party fire and theft. It's either laid up, not in use, or it's proper, but Rolls-Royce of cover, comprehensive, and all the benefits that come with it. Oh,
just make sure you're on the little white arrow. You can drift away from it.
Again, yeah,
It's just
thank you.
drifted away.
Thank you. Okay, so a bit of a lesson here in don't delay increasing your vehicle's value for the purposes of insurance. So this poor gentleman, and he's fine, he's actually standing there chatting to his mate, probably wondering where the deer's gone. I don't think the deer did very well out of this. But anyway, Saturday, lovely, nice day, cleaned his car, polished it, all beautiful. The RS was insured at £18,000 on an agreed value basis, which is good, but £18,000. He knew it was worth 36.
Oh.
So he'd done what he thought was sensible. He thought, well, I'll wait for RSOC to have National Day and I'll drive it up to the event in convoy with 4 of my mates, get to the show, arrange to see the valuer. It was all, arranged. He was going to get it valued that day for £36,000. Unfortunately, the car didn't make it. The car was actually a write-off en route. So the moral of the tale is, if you genuinely know that your vehicle has increased in value mid-term, mid-policy term, don't wait for National Day. Don't wait for the valuer to come to the door. Don't wait. Just call your insurer, whoever it is, get the value increase, go from 18 to 36, albeit on a market value basis.
Yeah. Do you need photos for agreed value?
6.
Yeah.
6. Front, back, left, right,
Yeah.
interior and engine bay.
Yeah.
I'll come on to agreed value process. It's really
Yeah.
easy with us, but yeah. So he'd have been much, much better off paying a little bit of increased premium. It wouldn't have doubled. There'd have been a modest increase. Increase it immediately from 18 to 36, wait for agreed value. So if he had have been insured market value at 36, given the vehicle's condition, beautiful concourse, given the rest of market, what market was achieving on the day of the loss, there's no reason for him to actually have had any less than £36,000.
Yeah. So he got paid out 18,000.
He got 18.
Yeah.
He got 18.
And he kept the car.
Yes, he did. I know it looks really, really bad there, and I'll come on to salvage in a moment as well. But the moral of that one is please, 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 whoever you're with, don't go underinsured, and don't leave a stagnant agreed value. It's always, always really important to get it increased. So with RH, now every insurer, every broker has a different process. Ours is pretty simple. So we'll focus on you as members of RREC. So RREC members, up to £50,000 per vehicle, you can self-agree. Now I appreciate 50 isn't probably going to scratch the surface unless it is a shadow or an Enage, an early one. You're probably going to need a club or independent specialist valuation. And we don't mind which it is. It can be club or independent specialist. Independent means somebody that doesn't know your car, someone that's never sold it to you, someone that's never worked on it, so that they are truly independent. We do not hold whoever valued the car, whether it's a club or an individual person, liable in the event of a claim. If ERS, if the insurer accepts that agreed value certificate, then it's accepted. We don't look for recourse to whoever did the certificate. ERS will assess it, and if they're happy, then it goes on to agreed value. And we literally, within our system, we have a tick box. We change it from market to agreed value. What that means is in the event of a loss, it's a total loss, so it's had a bump, pretty major bump, that one. It's had a bump, but it's still repairable within DVLA guidelines. We will give our client the salvage back in addition to their agreed value settlement. If it's market value, then they will receive any amount up to vehicle sum insured. It will depend on the vehicle's condition at the time of loss. It could be less, but if market is around where they've insured it for, it should be there or thereabouts. The beauty of agreed value is it avoids any uncertainty in the event of a claim. So we do strongly, strongly recommend agreed value.
So you've got to have someone to agree it?
If it's over 50.
Oh, if it's over 50.
If it's over 50. If it's less than 50, it's me. Personally, within RH team, I review every single vehicle, car and motorcycle, or other kinds of vehicles.
You come and have a look?
Photos.
Oh, just photos.
Photos come in, they come into
Photos are deceiving though.
we see a lot.
Yeah.
We see a lot. If there's something we're not sure of,
Yeah.
we will either go to the Vehicle Owners Club or ask for more detailed photos. Photos do tell us a lot. Okay, you may not be able to see micro blistering necessarily on a photo, but we have to rely on utmost good faith. Fraud, thankfully, is very, very, very rare. We've only had, in the 13 years I've been with RH, 2 claims repudiated, and one was for a Rolls Royce which was declared garage, and when the assessor went out to review it, it was £36,000 worth of wiring damage. When he went out to assess the ghost, it was parked on the street, and under the ghost bonnet was dried up leaves. Ghost had been sitting outside for a considerable amount of time, so they didn't pay that claim, and rightly so. But it is very, very rare we have fraud, potential fraud. Any questions on agreed value? No, okay. And also, let's say the car is worth £50,000, whether we insure it on market or agreed value basis, the premium is exactly the same. We will, if we agree the value in-house, but for my own time, it's just £15 per vehicle. However, if you have a large collection, we waive the standard 15 per vehicle. We might charge 30 or 45 for everything. We'll apply common sense. You know, we're not greedy, but we want to make sure you're properly insured. That's more important than us saying, well, it's going to be £15 for every single vehicle. And obviously, if you go away and come to us with your certificate, then we don't charge, because you've had to go and source somebody, probably pay for their time and their professional opinion as well. So that's fine. We'll accept that.
So on that then, because I was in a terminal accident with my car years ago, but I didn't come through you at all, because it was the other person's fault completely.
Right.
Was that why should I have come through you or not come through you, even though it wasn't nothing to do with me? I claimed off the other people's insurance, but they were sniffing, because I did have an agreed value, which is well under what it should have been. Where here you were saying your car was worth more than that. I said, well, I've never changed that, just covering my costs on it, and you think it was worth more than that. But so I didn't come through my insurers, I just fought tooth and nail against the others, and they paid out a decent sum in the end.
I mean, ERS would have fought your corner.
Yeah.
And treated it obviously as a non-fault.
Yeah, and they were sniffing so much to find out what the agreed value was, and I was not telling them what it was, because they would just turn and say, well, that's what it is, that's what you're getting. And I was like, well, no, it's nothing to do with it, what I had an agreed value on. It's, you've got to get me back into my car in the way I was enjoying before their client destroyed it.
Yeah. If you did get paid out at more than you'd insured the car for, you were very, very lucky. Because theoretically, any insurer is at liberty to cap the total amount paid out up to vehicle sum insured. But if it was not a total loss, were they just paying for cost of repairs?
No, it was a loss.
It was a loss.
It was a loss.
Okay.
They were sniffing to find out what the insured value was, and saying there's nothing to do with my insurance, and it doesn't matter. You know, you've got to get me back.
Right.
I want it, but it's curious. That's why I didn't go through you guys. I thought, it's a kind of
Okay. Well, I guess moral of that one is going back to the Ford Escort RS. Don't go underinsured, because also even more so nowadays, and this isn't something RHERS has ever done, but they could, and other insurers do, and it is becoming more common. If you are underinsured, for example, with the Escort, theoretically that client could either have had his claim completely repudiated because he was grossly underinsured, or they could have applied averaging, and instead of 18 he might have got 9, because it was only insured for half of what it actually was worth. So it's not worth the risk. It really isn't. You know, even if you have to update it every 3-6 months, you've got an RS Cosworth, whatever it is, the latest ones that are fetching.
Well, with that RS, they could have said, oh no, we're not paying out.
They should have done. Absolutely. He was very lucky. Well, he was unlucky, but lucky. He got what it was insured for. He was really lucky because it was underinsured. Yes. I mean, we always, and this is why I feel so proud to work for RH. I have worked for a couple of key competitors over the years, but this is the main reason I stay with RH, because you know, I personally own classic vehicles as well. I've had 60s and 70s TVRs and Alphas, slightly later Alphas, but I know, you know, if the worst happens to one of my own vehicles, I'm in really good hands, and that's not just because I work for RH. I mean, my premium went up substantially on my modern car last year because of rest of market. You know, I don't get special treatment, but I do know in the event of a claim, I'll be well looked after, as all of our clients are. And it's so important. It's really important. So that is the importance of agreed value. This is another agreed value story. Now this is a happy agreed value story, and this bike belongs to my very good friend Doug. Doug is the secretary of Square Wheels Masonic Car Club. He lives in the Midlands, and he had his 1952 ES Norton, his pride and joy, that he had spent years, probably a decade, restoring. And Doug and I chatted on and off, and we speak